So I wanted to discuss Dami's antics in not only backtracking on how he pursued Summer in Casa Amor, but how he also disrespected Summer in a recent episode. Indiyah was having a much needed chat on the daybed with Dami and confronting him about the three-way kiss he had with China and Summer, shown on movie night, and more pressingly, how many times he kissed Summer and how intimate those kisses were with her. And Indiyah rightly felt that Dami wasn't honest about the extent of the connection, or at least the extent of the intimacy he had with Summer in Casa Amor. Now, when she confronted him directly, he wasn't forthright with her. He was skirting around the issue and not being honest. And he said he didn't tell her about the three-way kiss because he didn't think it was intimate. And he didn't think it was a big deal. And Indiyah said, of course it is, and pointed out that the video clips showed him initiating everything as well. And that she doesn't feel he made it clear to Summer that his connection lay with her. Dami then called Summer over and he had the cheek, the utter cheek, to actually say to her, please tell me I didn't make it clear as day to you that me and you were 100%. And said, I think Summer responded by saying that while he did express his feelings about Indiyah to her, his behaviour towards her in Casa Amor gave her some hope. Now, what happened next was uncalled for because Dami couldn't stand this girl telling the truth about how things were between them in Casa Amor, how they were, booed up, cuddled up, kissing, all the full works. And he gaslit her by saying, obviously, I know I've been friendly or whatever. Is this guy being serious? Being friendly? Being friendly is sloppy kissing someone intimately and, holding them and booing up with them and doing up boyfriend and girlfriend. That's being friendly, is it? So Summer stood up for herself, and rather than nodding agreeably and going along with his blatant attempt at reimagining what happened between them, she said, if your heart was with Indiyah, you shouldn't have behaved with me how you did at Casa. And I love this. This girl has so much integrity. She stood up for herself. She was honest. We've all seen it. It's all on camera. We saw how he was with her at Casa Amor. He made the moves. He kissed her. There may have been one instance where she kissed him, but either way, he was all up for it. He was going for it. And she stood there in front of him and Indiyah, and she had all of her integrity intact and her self-respect because she said, you shouldn't have pursued me the way you did if you did want to be with Indiyah. And at that point, Dami just went on with this kind of really childish diatribe and actually started to gaslight her by saying, oh, I actually thought you were real, but you're actually fake. Now, if anything, she was being completely real here because she was telling the truth about what happened between them. And I understand that people think that gaslighting is, an overused word, but it's something that's overdone by certain people who try to get their way in situations and manipulate their way out of situations. And this is exactly what Dami is doing here. She's literally being as real as she can be there. She's upfront saying it to Indiyah's face what went on between them in Casa, and he's the one by telling her she's not being real. Now, if anything, I actually think that his ego couldn't handle the fact that she didn't bow out silently and let him discard her peacefully and pick Indiyah back up. It's all about his ego here, and he's saying that she's not being real, not because not because it's the truth, but because she's not being real to his needs and what he needs her to do right now, which is to, allow him to gloss it over and just be quiet and go away so that he can just, go back to Indiyah. And so that's what's coming out there where he's saying she's not being real. It's very childish. And it's obviously not the truth. He is gaslighting her to the hilt here. And I have to give it to her. You know, she she was pursued by him in Casa Amor, and he's now denying it as if the cameras aren't filming everything that's happened. We've all seen it. Dami is looking like a massive liar right now. Who does he think he's fooling? And then to top it all off, obviously after he said that to her, she got defensive, rightly so. She was defending herself and, you know, piping up against that accusation that she's fake. And her language, yeah, it did get a bit colourful. Kind of rightly so in a way, because she was frustrated that he was blatantly lying on her, and we obviously all know this at home. Um, and you know, she said that that's BS. You're not going to take the pee out of me, as she walked away. And you know, she then said, run that ish back and see if Indiyah still wants to chat to you. At this point, he lost it, and he repeatedly started to tell her to shut up, just shut up, Summer, shut up. And at that point, I was like, who does he think he is speaking to her like that? You know, she's a young lady. There's no need for him to speak to her like that, telling her to shut up. This is such disrespectful behaviour. Now, I understand that, you know, when you're younger, it can be, you know, and especially when it's school age, it's very common to tell people to shut up. It's a very common thing. In the adult world, telling someone to shut up that you're in a relationship with, you know, unless you two have an understanding and it's in a playful way, you don't tell someone to, you know, shut up with that level of bass and aggression in your voice. It's disgusting. The level of misogyny that I'm seeing in this season is unsettling. Personally, I'm going to do another video on that, but I'll save it for now. So I'm definitely not alone with these viewpoints, and Twitter was ablaze with people just admonishing Dami's behaviour in speaking to Summer in the way that he did. One person said, I can't stand someone who doesn't care when their partner disrespects someone else, especially another woman. She's never been that one for me. I agree. Guys, it's a massive red flag. Watch how your other half or someone who you're dating, watch how they deal with other people, how they speak to other people, how they speak to people in the service industry, you know, how they speak about their exes or how they treated their exes. Because honestly, eventually, you know, when you know, when it's not all frills anymore at the beginning stages of the relationship and they get comfortable and into their element, that will be you that they're talking down to. So just know that these are massive red flags. Someone else said, I can't imagine dating someone and hearing them speak to another woman like that. Hard pass. Exactly. Someone else said, was waiting for Indiyah to say, don't talk to her like that, and it never came. I'll be honest, this person, I could have written this myself. Honestly, I was thinking the same thing. When he was started to tell her to shut up, I was half expecting Indiyah to say, don't speak to her like that, but only because it's something I think I would have automatically said. I think that would have just come out of my mouth automatically, regardless of the circumstance. I would have just been like chill, like don't talk to her like that. It's too much, it's too aggressive. And someone said, I lost respect for Indiyah today, I'm not gonna lie. Now someone else was saying that, you know, we're expecting too much of Indiyah, etc., etc. And I understand that, you know, maybe she didn't have to open her mouth at that time. I think it would have been nice for her to be like, don't speak to her like that, to be honest, because there's a lot of misogyny going on in that house, and I think it's disgusting how a lot of the other women are just watching it, you know, watching their friends being treated in a certain way, and you know the men are stronger for it. They're literally got this, they've got this alliance, this kind of misogyny alliance, and the way in which they treat the women in such a dismissive way, and they laugh everything off, and they have this kind of jack the lad behavior, and they gang up. But yet when it comes to the girls experiencing these like small kind of microaggressive moments, they don't, you know, stand up for one another, and I think that's a shame. Especially in ways that we've seen in previous seasons. But let me know what you think in the comments. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.